Good evening, students. We'll see the venous drainage of the brain. The veins of the brain have no muscular tissue in their very thin walls and they possess no valves. They emerge from the brain and lie in the subarachnoid space. They pierce the arachnoid matter on the meningeal layer of the dura and drain into the cranial venous sinuses. So, external cerebral veins. The superior cerebral veins pass upward over the lateral surface of the cerebral hemisphere and empty into the superior sagittal sinus. The superficial middle cerebral vein drains the lateral surface of the cerebral hemisphere. It runs inferiorly in the lateral sulcus and empties into the cavernous sinus. The deep middle cerebral vein drains the insula and is joined by the anterior cerebral and striate veins to form the basal vein of Rosenthal. The basal vein ultimately joins the great cerebral vein, which in turn drains into the striate sinus. You can see here, this is the superior sagittal sinus. You can see these are the superior cerebral veins. You can see this is the superficial middle cerebral vein, where here it is draining into the cavernous sinus, but here it has connections. Superiorly, it is anastomosing the superior sagittal sinus through superior anastomotic vein of Trollard, and inferiorly, it is connected to the transverse sinus through the inferior anastomotic vein of Labe. Internal cerebral veins. There are two internal cerebral veins, and they are formed by the union of thalamus striate and the choroidal vein at the interventricular foramen. Even the septal veins joins them. The two veins run posteriorly in the tila choroidea of the third ventricle and unite beneath the splenium of the corpus callosum to form the great cerebral vein of Galen, which empties into the striate sinus. You can see here, this is the thalamo-striate vein and this is the choroidal vein, and you can also see this is the septal vein. All the three joining to form the internal cerebral vein, which joins beneath the splenium of corpus callosum to form the great cerebral vein of Galen, and you can see the basal vein draining into the great cerebral vein of Galen. So veins of specific brain areas. The midbrain is drained by veins that open into the basal or great cerebral veins. The pons is drained by the veins that open into the basal vein, cerebellar veins, or neighboring venous sinuses. The middle oblongata is drained by veins that open into the spinal veins and neighboring venous sinuses. The cerebellum is drained by veins that empty into the great cerebral vein or adjacent venous sinuses. So brain capillaries. The capillary blood supply to the brain is greater in the gray matter than in the white matter. This is to be expected since the metabolic activity in the neuronal cell bodies in the gray matter is much greater than in the nerve process in the white matter. So blood-brain barrier we'll discuss in the next session. Thank you.